So it's not insured. He had to spend $2 million cash, and now we're in the situation that we can't get parts for.
A $6 million hypercar, written off as scrap, and a YouTuber bold enough to bring it back to life. When a rare Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport, one of just 60 ever built, was declared a total loss after a crash in the United States, most people assumed its story was over. Insurance paid out. The title was branded salvage. The car was sent to auction like any other wrecked vehicle. End of chapter. But then Mat Armstrong bought it. What happened next didn't just shock car enthusiasts, it rattled the entire hypercar industry. Because rebuilding a Bugatti isn't like fixing a normal car. It means stepping into a world of locked software, restricted parts, factory-only repairs, and million-dollar components. This wasn't just a rebuild. It became a battle over control, safety, and the future of right to repair. And suddenly, one damaged Bugatti turned into something much bigger than a YouTube project. The Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport was never designed to become a salvage car. Only 60 exist. That's it. Each one started at around $3.6 million before options. And Bugatti clients rarely stop at base price. Beneath the sculpted carbon fiber sits an 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16, producing roughly 1,500 horsepower. It's a powertrain born during Bugatti's Volkswagen Group era and refined into one of the most complex engines ever fitted to a road car. But the Pur Sport wasn't about top-speed records. It was engineered for precision, shorter gearing, stiffer suspension, lighter magnesium wheels, aerodynamics tuned for corners, not straight-line bragging rights. This was the Chiron reimagined for drivers. Then came an ordinary moment. Traffic slowed, brake lights flared, and in seconds, a chain reaction collision crushed into the front of the hypercar. The carbon fiber nose shattered, the headlights were destroyed, structural components beneath the skin absorbed the impact. Airbags deployed. The estimate? Nearly $1.7 million in parts alone. Insurance didn't hesitate. The car was declared a total loss. Its title was permanently branded salvage. Official factory support was effectively closed off. A machine engineered in Molsheim, France, once the pinnacle of automotive precision, now sat damaged and unwanted. And that's when someone unexpected stepped in. The listing looked unreal. A Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport salvage title sitting on Copart. Among rows of wrecked SUVs and flood-damaged sedans was a 1,500 horsepower hypercar that once represented the absolute peak of combustion engineering. The photos showed the damage clearly: crushed front end, exposed carbon fiber, panels misaligned, airbags deployed. It didn't look fixable, it looked finished. Most people assumed it would be parted out. Salvage auctions are where written-off cars go to disappear. Rebuilders buy everyday vehicles all the time: Mustangs, BMWs, Teslas. But hypercars? That's different. Parts are restricted, software is locked, and manufacturers keep tight control over who touches them. Then Mat Armstrong placed a bid. Armstrong had built a reputation restoring damaged performance cars on YouTube. His formula was simple: buy broken, rebuild honestly, show everything. But this wasn't a Lamborghini or an Audi. This was one of 60 Bugattis ever made. When he won the auction, the internet exploded. Car forums lit up, mechanics debated the risks, enthusiasts questioned whether it was even possible. Some called it bold, others called it reckless. Because buying the car was one thing. Getting it running again? That was a completely different challenge. And that's when the real battle began. This is where the industry pushed back. Owning a Bugatti isn't like owning a normal car. From the moment a Chiron leaves Molsheim, it enters a tightly controlled ecosystem. Servicing is handled through official Bugatti partners. Technicians are factory trained. Specialized tools and proprietary diagnostics are required even for routine maintenance. And structural repairs? That's another level entirely. The Chiron is built around a carbon fiber monocoque, a single-piece safety cell designed to withstand extreme forces. Carbon fiber doesn't bend like steel, it fractures. Damage can hide beneath the surface, invisible to the eye but critical to crash performance. Repairing it isn't just about replacing panels. It requires factory-level inspection, scanning, and bonding procedures. Then there's the software. Modern hypercars rely on deeply integrated electronics, airbag modules, crash sensors, drivetrain calibration, and encrypted control systems. Even parts that look identical may require brand-specific programming. Without factory access, certain systems simply won't function properly. In early 2026, Bugatti Rimac CEO Mat Rimac publicly addressed the situation. He corrected exaggerated online cost rumors and emphasized one thing: safety. The company even offered to repair the car at the factory, but they didn't support an independent rebuild, and that distinction changed everything. But this wasn't just about carbon fiber and calibration tools, it was about control. When Mat Armstrong bought the Chiron at auction, he became the legal owner. The title, salvage or not, was in his name. And traditionally, ownership means freedom. You can repair it, modify it, even take it apart bolt by bolt if you want. That's how the automotive world has worked for decades. Every year, thousands of written-off cars are rebuilt and returned to the road. Insurance companies declare them total losses. Rebuilders buy them, mechanics fix them. Life goes on. But hypercars exist in a different universe. Manufacturers now retain control long after the sale, or use force. Through encrypted software, locked diagnostic systems, restricted parts distribution, and factory-only calibrations. The physical car may sit in your garage, but critical access remains inside the company's ecosystem. This isn't unique to Bugatti. Farmers argue over locked tractor software. EV owners run into diagnostic restrictions. Even smartphone repairs spark similar debates. So the real question surfaced: does buying a machine mean you truly control it? Supporters saw Armstrong's rebuild as a stand for ownership rights. Critics saw it as a potential safety risk, and suddenly, one wrecked hypercar became the center of a global right-to-repair war. But the hardest part was still ahead. Then the rebuild actually began. The first tear-down videos revealed just how serious the damage was. Carbon fibers shattered, structural sections compromised, cooling systems crushed, wiring harnesses tangled like a spiderweb beneath the chassis. This wasn't cosmetic, it was deep. And every step uncovered a new obstacle. Some parts simply weren't available through official channels. Others required tracing shared suppliers across the Volkswagen Group ecosystem. In certain cases, Armstrong had to reverse engineer solutions or source components from unexpected places. Nothing about this process was straightforward, but the biggest hurdle wasn't mechanical. It was digital. Modern hypercars don't just run on fuel and air. They run on encrypted software. Control modules need coding. Safety systems require calibration. Sensors must communicate perfectly. Without factory-level diagnostic tools, even a fully reassembled car can refuse to wake up. And millions were, watching this unfold in real time. Each episode pulled massive viewership. Comments flooded in from engineers, mechanics, and skeptics. Some were impressed, others warned it couldn't be done safely outside the factory. But Armstrong kept going, because stopping now would prove the critics right, and what came next would determine whether this was a comeback or a cautionary tale. Now the real question looms: even if the engine fires, even if the panels line up perfectly, even if every warning light disappears, is that enough? Getting a 1,500 horsepower Bugatti to start is one thing. Making it road legal is another. Safety systems must function exactly as designed. Airbags must deploy at the precise millisecond. Crash structures must behave the way factory engineers intended. Registration authorities won't just take a YouTube video as proof. And then there's liability. If the car were ever involved in another accident, who carries responsibility? The rebuilder? The part suppliers? The manufacturer whose name is still on the badge? That uncertainty is part of why brands guard their repair ecosystem so tightly. Software access remains a lingering variable too. Hypercars rely on encrypted modules and proprietary calibration tools. Without official cooperation, some systems may always sit in a gray area. Yet the project keeps moving forward. Because, at this point, it's no longer just about finishing a rebuild. It's about proving a point. Can an independent owner truly restore one of the most complex cars ever built? Or are modern machines quietly shifting control back to the manufacturers? The answer to that question could shape far more than one Bugatti. What started as a wrecked hypercar sitting on a salvage lot has turned into something much bigger. This isn't just about whether a Bugatti can be rebuilt outside the factory. It's about what ownership really means in a world of encrypted software and locked ecosystems. When you spend millions on a machine, do you control it? Or does the manufacturer? Mat Armstrong's project forced that uncomfortable question into the spotlight. Supporters see innovation and independence. Critics see risk and responsibility, and the industry is watching closely. Because this rebuild could set a precedent. If it succeeds, it challenges the idea that only factories hold the keys. If it fails, it strengthens the argument for tighter control. Either way, the conversation has changed. And maybe that's the real shock. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe. Because this story isn't over yet.